Should I call Scott for that?
Sure.
Hello, Scott.
How's everybody?
We're good. You don't sound so good.
I'm not.
We're getting ready to start the calendar hearing, so if you have any questions, just yell.
Okay, thank you.
All right, I'll go ahead and get started then. So just as the last time, go through the calendar requirements. Right now, there has to be 180 days of instruction in the calendar, 48-week maximum window. County boards cannot hold graduations or release seniors any earlier than 5 days prior to the last instructional day on your calendar. Counties must schedule 6 faculty senate meetings in addition to the opening and closing of school, and then they tell you what months those have to be in also. So that calendar that you have in front of you, the state has a website where you go in and you create these calendars. Well, if it isn't right, it won't let you finish. So it's kind of nice that they've created that, because before you'd have to send it back and all if you missed an OS day, but it won't even let you finalize it until every rule in State Board Policy 3234 is called for. So when you print a calendar that there's nothing in it that's wrong per state code. So that's where we're at there. If you look at that calendar, you'll see that we will start school for staff on 8/13. We'll have a few days there of professional development, and then the 17th would be a faculty senate day and more professional development, and then the 18th would be a prep day, and then August 19th would be the first day for kids. Going through, there are some legal holidays, of course, in there, and those faculty senates are spread out like they have to be. Those will be 2-hour early release days for us. If we compare them with a professional learning day, that would just leave kids home, and they would have faculty senate in the afternoon, and we'd have some professional learning in the morning. As you can see, the teachers and staff like to have a PL day somewhat close to the beginning of school. That way they can kind of make adjustments to what they're doing and what's going on in their classrooms, and then do a little collaboration with their cooperating teachers. Then we go through, you see we have the week of Thanksgiving off, and then we have our winter Christmas break there, and then it's been pretty successful the last few years. The day after the Christmas holiday break, we have a PL day, so we get everybody back in the building and get ready to go for that second semester. So as you can see there, and then as you can see, the OS days there we got put in. You have to have 3 in before the 100 or after the 140th day of school, which is part of that policy. And then as you can see there, the last day for staff, when we don't have any snow days next year, or go beyond those 10 days that we can have, will be June 1st will be the prep day and closing for school. So of course, here are the legal holidays that we have to have in there. Again, 6 OS days and then prep days. So again, I kind of just went through all this with you all. The last day of instruction would be the 26th, and closing and prep would be June 1st. So with this calendar, and what a lot of people don't know, and I never really went over in the calendar hearing, is this is with, it says up there in the top right hand corner, using equivalent time option, and that's yes. So what that means is we go to school longer than other counties in the state daily. So we can use that accrued time for 5 additional days of snow. So if we have the first 5 days we have snow, we have enough accrued time built up, we can use those 5 days. So staff doesn't have to make it up, kids don't have to make it up, nobody has to make it up. Then we have the option to have 5 snow packet days. So when there's 5 snow packet days, as long as the weather isn't too treacherous, we have staff come in so kids can call their teacher and talk to their teacher, or we make them, they have to give out their email or something where kids can contact them on those 5 snowpack days. So staff is working those 5 days. So then after that 10th day, like we ran into this year, we're up to 12. Those next 2 days, everybody's off because we have to make those 2 days up somewhere, which are the 2 days we put into the calendar that we had for our winter break, which I believe was March 2nd and the 26th of February. So that's kind of how that process works. But like I said, some other important dates on the calendar. This new calendar: Thanksgiving break, Christmas break, and then those CD days at the beginning of the year. We're looking, in the past, we've had a whole county gathering sometimes, like that first day, and have a speaker come in. We're looking at something like that again, and then also we have a curricular person who's going to come in and work with all of our elementary teachers and all of our aides in our reading program. So we're starting to plan for that summer PD right now. When we have it nailed down, I'll have Mrs. Miller come in and talk to you all about that. But that's really all I have for the calendar. I didn't have anyone comment or call or make remarks about starting, ending dates or anything like that. So next step for this is I'll submit it for approval to the state, which we have to do every year. Any questions? Thank you, guys. We'll get started in 5 or 10 minutes.
I'd like to call this meeting to order. The mission of I'd like to call this meeting of the Tyler County Board of Education to order. The mission of Tyler County Schools is to provide student-centered learning opportunities that ensure all students will learn to their potential and master the skills, ethical behaviors, and attitudes needed to be successful citizens in a 21st century economy. Please rise and we will have a moment of silence and the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, the roll call, all of us are present and Mr. Strode is present by phone.
All right, under C, approval of the minutes of the February 2nd, 2026 meeting, regular meeting, have been approved by the state. Under presentations, there are no presentations, no delegations. Yeah, I know, I said 2026. Communications, first semester faculty senate was provided in the packets to you all. As we go down through, superintendent's report, nothing there. Under H, project updates, I would like to report that the roof is complete at the meat house, or the meat house and head house, and so they're wrapping everything up there. They're cleaning up today. Curricular updates, nothing there. Committee reports, any committee reports? We have a MOV time meeting Thursday, so we should have something on the next one. Nothing under staff reports, so that takes us to financials. And the first one is the budget revision request. Mr. Langster's here to talk about that. Briefly.
What I like to do whenever we have a budget supplement brought before the board is just stand up here and let you know really what we're doing, what changes we're making to the budget. And in reality, this has already been approved by the state, but just real quick, the quick version of this, there's $2.1 million and some change there of some budget supplements. The largest portion of that by far is the interest that we have down at the state investment pool, earning on the money that we've set aside for the school largely. It's been there for a while and it's earning close to 4% interest right now, so that's really good money for the school system. So I am in order. There's Communities and Schools grant, just bringing that to the board now. It's actually $5,000 decrease the way it's set up from last year. It just dwindles down a little bit each year. Tools for Schools, buy some Apple devices, iPads for our staff. State grant in the amount of $41,042. There's some minor changes to the budgets where they've approved a certain amount, then the state's going and changed the amount, or the federal dollars have changed a little bit. $8 here, just to line up the budget. Again, the largest portion that I mentioned is $2,026,024.92 is the interest that I'm bringing to the board that is above the amount that was currently or budgeted back in the spring. That's bringing it to the board. And the last item that I have here is a couple grants here for professional development. One of them is letters training, give some money for some training there for some of our staff. And then Michelle Weekly has an M3T grant. We had the same thing in Wetzel County, and actually when she was a Wetzel County teacher, she did it there. I believe that's math. I think that brings some additional training to our staff here. So that's all that I have under that item.
All right, two bid openings for the construction of the new elementary school. We did have those bid openings. We had two general contractors who submitted bids. Moving on to the next one, three, Rycon Construction out of Pittsburgh was the low bidder. A total combined package of $82,390,000 was the low bid. What I have done is, and I sent this to you all earlier, and I had to send this to the state, I've broken it down because the total package is that, but part of that is the road, the bridge, and then we have some additional deducts that we're going to work with Raycon on. So I'll kind of go through that all with you right now just so you can see what the breakdown is. In our CEFP, the new Tyler Consolidated Elementary School was formally submitted and approved as a CEFP amendment in February of 2025, if you all remember that. When we decided we were going to build a school, we had to go in front of the state. And that project at that time in 2025 was $74 million. And that's minus the road, minus the bridge, because that's something that was also in our CEFP as an additional cost that we planned on doing anyway. So as part of that package, about $11 million of that is the bridge and road work that we had already anticipated and planned to do in our CEFP over the next 10 years. So $11 million or so there. So that's something that's been needed regardless if we build a school or not, was another means of egress from the school, and we planned on doing it anyway. So as part of this package, that's part of it. So about $11.5 million plus or minus. Also, the other thing that we looked at in talking with Raycon after they submitted their bid was the retaining wall that will go behind the school. It was agreed upon that it was in the specs. It was way over engineered, and it didn't need to be engineered for the load in which it was built for. So we're looking at a total savings there on the low end from about $3 million to the upper end of about $6 million that we'll be able to save on that retaining wall. Additional savings after we were hurt, we got the initial cost. To be diligent with our taxpayer dollars and making sure, we're not overspending. We sat down with Raycon, Mrs. Kimball, Mr. Lancaster, myself, and then the architects from McKinley, and looked line item by line item of not what we could take away that would take away from the integrity or the vision that we have for the school that those teachers spend so much time creating, but things like ornamental fencing we didn't really need ornamental fencing. We can use a chain link fence. So going down through that list of things that we talked about with Raycon, we were able to deduct another $875,000. So save an additional so close to another $1 million there. So in this document, I went on to to talk about some of the additions. Like if you build a school through the SBA, the cost of that school would be cheaper. But we're using our funds to build this, and we wanted to add a few things to make it more attractive. One, for professionals and for our kids to have a better educational experience. So a couple of the things that we have that most elementary schools wouldn't have, and we've talked about all these things. One was a staff daycare, a place for staff members to take their kids. That's huge across the country right now, a lack of daycares. And if we can provide that for our staff, I think that'll be really appealing to younger staff and more teachers to come, better quality teachers to come work for us if they know they have a place to take their kids. And that would be a huge raise because the cost of daycares are astronomical in this country right now. A full-size gymnasium. If you build a school with SBA funds, you wouldn't be able to build a full-size gymnasium. And we know that our kids in this area, they don't have places to have youth league hardly anymore. We have the Green Center over here that's utilized every hour of every day. They did used to utilize Sistersville Elementary School, which has since been condemned. I believe they're not allowed to utilize that gym anymore. We have been using the current elementary school gyms, but they're not built to have a basketball practice for youth leagues. So this gymnasium will be able to be utilized for youth sports, and also it'll be big enough because of the size and the number of kids. We'll have to have 2 gym classes going on simultaneously. So we'll be able to put the curtain down and have gym classes on each side. The grade level pod space is like the community areas that we talked about. I think that'll be huge for our kids and their interventions and things like that. Then the other thing is the school clinic.
And that takes up, square footage also. But what I want you all to know is kind of behind the scenes. We've been working with West Virginia healthcare systems and also Marietta Memorial just to see who can kind of offer us the better solution for our clinic. So it looks like at this point, we're really working hard with Marietta Memorial. And what would happen is that they would provide the nurse practitioner or physician's assistant, and they would really just run the clinic. We would just give them the space. So they would be able to utilize the clinic for our kids. They'd be able to write prescriptions that would really save us time and save parents time. They come and pick up their kid and have to take them to the doctor's appointment in Parkersburg. They'll just be able to pick up and go to the doctor right there on site. So those are a few of the additions that, that drive the cost up a little more than what you would say an SBA elementary school would cost you. But, I've talked to Mr. Lancaster, we've talked to Mr. Davis. We feel comfortable with the money we have. We're going to be fine to build this elementary school and still be able to, to run day-to-day operations for many years just off of on what the money we have right now. So with that being said, in the end, the building itself minus the earthwork and the bridge and the road work and the deducts, the building itself is about $60 million if I did the math correctly. That's the building itself. So like I said, I feel comfortable with that number. So the award to proceed will be given to Rycon, and you will probably see trees being cut in the next couple weeks. So they're going to get up there and get started. But I wanted to give you guys kind of that overview of what that bid award notice was. So like I said, the number was $82,399,000. But like I said, there were many things in there that we were able to deduct, and also things that we were already going to be able to do in that package, with the end number, the building itself being about $60 million. So I feel comfortable with that. The two treasurers that we've been working with feel comfortable with that. So we will award that notice to proceed. Number 4 for you.
Number 4, just wanted to get in front of you the budget calendar. It's really a series of 5 meetings that we have to have. We kind of have to work around certain dates. The one that's required is April 21st. The third Tuesday, we have to officially enter the levy rates. I believe that's already on your schedule. I think every date on here is on your schedule. I'm not sure if April 27th was. Stacy, you may remember that. So Mr. Davis did the same thing. He had a special budget work session to go over with you all and go over with the public a little bit. It takes a little while, but you go through a lot of important things I think it's one of the most important things the treasurer does for a school system is be transparent with that budget. So when you look at this schedule, March 16th, you're going to determine the levy rates at a regular meeting. On the 21st is that third Tuesday. You're going to officially enter those levy rates. April 27th is a special session where we give that budget overview that we just talked about. And then your 2 regularly scheduled meetings in May. May 4th is when you would adopt the proposed budget. It'll be a balanced budget. You'll adopt it here, and you'll make it available for public inspection. Then you come back on the 18th and actually have the public hearing, which the final budget will be adopted. So just wanted to make sure I got all those dates in front of you. That's your proposed budget calendar scheduled for this year.
Thank you.
Policy review, I will be bringing a Neola update to you guys at the next meeting. I feel like all policies will be at the State Department by that point, so I'll be able to give you a better update of where we're at with those policy adoptions. The crazy thing is the legislative session is going to be over. There's going to be new policies. We're going to adopt all new policies, and there's going to be some they have to review, and I guess that's how the process is. So athletic schedules, you did see we added an additional match for the high school archery team. They had asked to do so, and then you had a copy of the Tyler Consolidated Middle School track schedule there also. On the approval of requests. We have a lot of our end of the year field trips were on there for approval, along with a HOSA club from the TCHS. We'll be going to Marshall to compete. I don't know if you remember last year, but we had a state winner there. So I'm excited for those kids to go down there and get to compete in that. Under other requests, we have 2 of our former students who are going into the field of education, and they want to do their field placement here in Tyler County, and those 2 have been approved also. Under personnel, we do have a couple resignations, or 1 retirement and 1 resignation. Carla Wells will be retiring October 30th of 2026, and she just wanted to get that on the agenda. And then Shauna Griffin has resigned, the middle school cross-country coach. 2 employees and transfers and rescissions. Employ Brianna M. Brookover as a substitute teacher. She will be starting immediately. And then employ David Riggle as assistant girls track coach for Tyler Consolidated High School. That will be effective immediately. And then transfer Jeremy Fletcher from his current bus route 48 to bus 66, and that will be effective immediately. We've also went through the process of paying our bills through the State Department. Any questions for me before we end this evening? Just know if you have questions, you can always reach out, email me, call me, whatever, about what's on the agenda. If there are none, I will make a motion that the next meeting will be Monday, March 2nd, 2026 at 7 p.m. here at the Board Office.
Also, I mean, for you guys, we now will be having 2 meetings a month again. So we'll be starting on the 1st and the 3rd Mondays from now on. Okay, if nothing else, this meeting is adjourned. The time is 7:17.